So focus your mind to this bell sound and follow the sound, please. So while you following the sound, mentally relax your body and relax your breathing and relax your mind. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. So dear Dhamma friends, in this meditation session, we mainly going to focus to tranquility meditation and vipassana meditation. So mainly tranquility meditation is calming down our mind and make our mind usable for vipassana meditation. And when we calm down our mind, the important thing we have to understand, you can't do it by thinking. Because when you start to keep thinking while you practicing meditation, what will happen? Your mind again and again and again become busy, or maybe you going to be calm with the thoughts. So if the mind depending from thoughts, then you cannot use it for deeper to recognize or to observation. So that's why in tranquility meditation, mainly we have to allow our mind to settle down, not with the thoughts, but with the mental object that not ignite the thoughts. So that's why we get the inhalation, exhalation as primary mental object. So once you focus to inhalation, exhalation, you no need to think about the inhalation, exhalation. Only thing is just see and recognize. And if your mind go here and there, you no need to worry about it or go with it or struggle with it. Only thing is just stay with the inhalation, exhalation, and then within few seconds, the mind going to settle down with the inhalation, exhalation. Because mind has no form, mind has no structure, mind has no method. So always whatever available, mind go with it. So in day-to-day life, what happened, we didn't have a kind of like a primary mental object to keep our mind focused. So then the mind always go here and there. And once you sit for meditation, you experience that nature sometimes. But remember, if you keep focusing to one place, one thing, little by little, mind going to be with it. So that's why, so whatever happen, your duty should be to stay with the inhalation, exhalation. So when you follow inhalation, exhalation mean, you don't think about the breathing. You always have to focus to the sensation arise out of the inhalation, exhalation. So that way, you see the sensation. Through the sensation, you recognize this is inhalation, this is exhalation. So in the beginning, separately recognize this is inhalation, this is exhalation. And from there, you go to see entire continuation of the inhalation, exhalation. And while you're observing the entire continuation of the inhalation, exhalation, sometimes you see some inhalation become longer, shorter, heavy, soft, warm, cold, so like that. So if you recognize that, just let it be, and seeing that process is the important, not to make anything happen, but to accept it and just see it. So while you observe in that way, and when the mind and the body and the breathing settle down itself, so from there, we're going to go to the Vipassana level of meditation. So in the Vipassana level, what we have to understand, in samatha meditation, we always use our mind and with the mental object. And always there should be attention with the intention to recognize. But in the Vipassana level, you completely have to be free. Your mind cannot follow any pattern or method. And let the mind to be completely free. And whatever in that moment, that as example, that what you observe as a primary mental object, you used to follow inhalation, exhalation. But here in Po Foundation, and what you focus as a sensation or even the body or the mind or the nature, you focus to that, but at the same time, you should not kind of like get and settle down in one place and keep observing like we did in the samatha. Because in Vipassana, when you deeply in analytical meditation, the very nature is, it always go with the process and recognizing it, go with the process and recognize it. But in samatha meditation, you always stay in one place and allow other things to happen, and you recognizing. So this mental behavior, these two mental behavior, when it comes to Vipassana level of that the practice, only thing you have to remember, just freedom is the most important thing. Because if your mind not free from thoughts or the patterns or the methods, that you cannot see things very clearly. So that's why in the very first thing in the Vipassana, always remember, completely be free mentally. And sometimes in the beginning, for some students, it is very difficult. Why it is difficult? Because they have no idea how you can be free from thoughts. So that's why in the beginning, you come to tranquility state and tranquilize your mind, calm down your mind, and from there, and slowly start to observe whatever the Vipassana level of technique. And from there, always you have to remember not to get into mental image. Because if you have a mental image, then you have thoughts. That is the very nature of the mind. So you have thought related to something, not related to the moment. So in the Vipassana level, in this very moment, whatever happened in that very moment of happening it, and recognize. So then you're not going to even settle down with that. And the very next thing, it doesn't matter, it is pleasant, unpleasant. So you go to the very next thing. You're not going to review. You're not going to think about it. You're not going to comment about it. You're not going to have any kind of interfering. So you just moving, accept whatever, move forward, accept whatever, move forward. So when you keep doing little by little, what is happening, the picture that in between your perception and the consciousness going to slowly disappear, slowly disappear. Then there is no interference with the thoughts. So that's how your practice is going to become little by little sharper. So anyway, let's practice a little bit. Today we're going to observe the feelings. So contemplating the feelings. So when it comes to that, mainly observe your whole body. And when you observe the whole body in this outside in the skin and see whatever the feelings arise, just see it. In surface level, recognize it. And there are different feelings arise, but you no need to go and categorize it, separate it, just see it, and then whatever you see next and go for that. So like that, and without changing anything, without interfering to anything, just learn to see. And then you see that most of the feelings place to place different. And sometimes if you keep observing, sometimes you come to a place, this entire bodily feeling is kind of like a one, same feeling. There is no separation. So then in the beginning, what you recognize as feelings no longer exist. Because see, in the beginning you saw it is separate, different, but now if you go a little bit deeper, you see all the feelings same. So then what happened to the first recognition? It already gone. Even when you recognize this, the whole entire body sometimes have the same feeling. And there are sometimes certain feelings become deeply pleasant. Your mind deeply connected to some is not kind of that much pleasant, it's unpleasant feeling, and sometimes neutral. So whatever you get as a pleasant and later can become unpleasant. So then you have to see how the mind change with the feelings. It's kind of like a game. So as example, so when I keep my hand like this and deeply, you feel comfortable. And then after few seconds, that same comfort transport to that change to this uncomfort. So then rather than struggling with the hand, if you able to recognize how that comfort change to uncomfort, that is where you recognizing kind of a wisdom. It's nothing to do with the hand. So like that, when you observe the feelings all over your body, place to place, deeply, whatever it connect with the mind and it change. Whatever you see get as it's kind of like the LED bulb. It's like it's always moving and changing, but it giving you kind of a picture. Same like the pleasant, unpleasant, neutral is kind of like the result come out of that light. But your responsibility should be, without getting to that whatever the picture as a pleasant or unpleasant, see how the pleasant transform to unpleasant. And there are some feelings has power to ignite your past memory. So only thing is, don't go with it and don't reject it. Just see and then move to the whatever next available feeling and see it. So like that, in the Vipassana, you become more active and at the same time you get out of the collective nature. You don't compare it anything. Each and every moment you completely 100% become free from whatever you experience, but you're not going to stay in the same place, and you go place to place, place to place. So whatever the experience you go through, that itself you experiencing how that the same mental experience change. And that is where the desire going to disappear. Because once you know that what you see in mind as pleasant or unpleasant is going to change, the deeper attachment that you carry to feelings slowly going to release. Because the feelings are so strong than we think. It is hold us to this samsara mainly. So that is, it's kind of like the front line in this battlefield with the world, your feelings. Because if you are with the pleasant feeling, you go into it. But you don't see that the deeper pleasant feeling in the moment, it can transfer to unpleasant. So now when you observing deeply and you recognizing that method, and then the next time when you see pleasant and you know yourself, it's not going to be forever. Within few seconds, it can become unpleasant. So then you're not going to respond. See, that is where you release from the desire. Because otherwise, normally what we does, we just respond. When the feelings arise, we respond. Even the feelings all over your body. And sometimes we don't see how silently we respond to our feelings. But through this way, little by little, when you observe, you're going to see that. And then slowly that responding part going to drop down. And then the whatever pleasant or unpleasant or neutral feelings that you see and recognize, that recognition itself will help you to transform yourself to a higher level. So let's practice a little bit. And your right palm on your left, neck head straight in one line, and be comfortable with your posture. Bring your attention to your body. And scan head to toes yourself and say Swapatveva, or may I be well and happy 3 times. Take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. In this moment, with this sitting, may my body become more comfortable. May my breath be more smooth. May no difficulties come to me. May all the success come to me. Also think for a moment. This is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime. And detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing your sensation of inhalation, exhalation, and then slowly start to observe the sensation of your body. So bring your attention to in front of your nose and your upper lip area, and deeply and gently breathe in, breathe out 3 times. And observe your inhalation, exhalation, and recognize it separately. If your mind go here and there, bring it back again and again and stay with the inhalation exhalation. And follow the entire continuation of the inhalation and exhalation. Knowingly, this is the beginning, this is the middle, this is end of the inhalation or exhalation. See, sometimes inhalation, exhalation become longer, shorter, heavy, soft, warm, cold. Just recognize and accept it. Bring attention to your body and observe the sensation over your skin. Bring your attention to your breathing. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire your compound, village, city, state, country, around this world and around this universe. Also, as far as you can, through galaxies, other planets, stars, reminding yourself like this. So, mentally repeat after me with clear intention. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe, and may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart. Visualize yourself and send it as a light forward to your backside, to your left side, and to your right side. Downward and upward. To all six directions at once, like the moon, the sun. Spread the light, spread the energy without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it, with the maximum effort to the highest. Wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So dear Dhamma friends, in this conventional life, mostly what we experience as life is not the real life. So if you look very carefully, just for a day, what you take as your life, and end of the day, if you look yourself what you have done, so the mostly you went through kind of like actions whichever that you did for certain reasons, and sometimes deeply that is not really that you want to do, but sometimes you keep doing, and without rejecting, or sometimes we have no power to reject, and sometimes we are afraid to reject that, but still we keep doing, and then after few months we say ourselves, we live this much years. So year by year, year by year, if we look very carefully what we keep doing, and even really ourselves, and we didn't accept that our own bodily or verbally or mentally actions. And then the mostly the repetition of the some kind of actions or our thoughts or our believing system, we keep doing again and again, again and again. By the time we going to end our life, and then end of the life, if you look back what you have done, and even you have no idea what it is. That's why it called life is kind of like a dream. Why it become a dream like that way? Even 50 years, 70 years, 80 years, 100 years you live, sometimes the life is becoming kind of like a dream. How it is possible? Because you just keep doing something without any clear awareness. You can be busy, you can be so busy for 24 hours, but still at the same time that so busy 24 hours, you can be unconscious. And then end of the day, you can tell you were so busy. You was doing a lot of things. But end of the day, that whole 24 hours and become like a dream. So then if you look 10 years, 20 years, and look back from the birth to in this very moment so far in your life. So then you have to question yourself, what is living? What is the meaning of living? Because the living, it doesn't mean that you are bodily, verbally, or mentally action. And mostly that whatever the action when you keep doing, you have certain mental image always in your mind. So if you have a mental image, so that's mean words or the image, that's mean your history. So if in your mind, whatever when you keep doing, if you do it out of a mental image or word, that moment is not your living moment. You missing something. So then when it comes to life, even in meditation, while you practicing meditation, that's why in samatha, even you attain to the fourth absorption, in that level, any high mental powers or the jhana, even you can do many kind of miracle or visualizations or this kind of many things. To developing the mental image, but still they're going to be in the samsara. Because when you're having a mental image means, when you have words in your mind means always, you belong to the samsara or you belong to the past. So is there any moment that you can reach? You can exist and you can experience something without any mental image or without any words. If you able to get into that going to become the real moment of your life. It become the real experience. So other than that, what we take as reality is not reality, because it is just a kind of like ideology. It is not a reality because it depending from something. So in vipassana, that's why you experience something without any kind of image inside your mind or without any words. If you able to experience that kind of 1 second in your life, it has power to transform your life to completely different dimension, different existence with the same body, and you're going to have a different mind. Have you seen that the people have the same mind, even that they go year by year, year by year, even in the samsara, people come with the previous mind, that they have the habitual patterns and keep doing the same thing again and again and again and again, birth by birth. They have the same kind of memory in their mind, and even they die, there is a possibility they can come with the same kind of memory. Why it happened like that way? Because the mind is so powerful if you are able to repeat. So that's why people very easily get addicted to this repetition. Even verbally, like chanting mantras, sutras, people become so happy for that. And then in a certain level, when they keep chanting, and they mesmerize themselves. And they mesmerize themselves, what happening at the same time, they get lost in their own mental image. And then once they get into that mental image, what is happening? They cut the connection with the perception. So once they cut the perception and they get out of the reality and they're living in a different world and they take that world as reality. So it can happen to us also. And through the mantra, chanting like that way and visualizing like that way, you can achieve to that. And at the same time, if you look very carefully, it can happen to you by using your own self-image also. And you never experience something like that, but you never achieve to something like that. And there is no possibility to become somebody like that, but still when you have the mental image like that way, what is happening? You experience like that. You're living kind of like that, but in reality, you are completely different person. So then when it comes to your personal life, you have to look. Are you ever seeing who you are in really than without your mental image? So that is the power of sati. The sati means you get into the real point and you just be with it. And it is more comfortable than anything. But the thing is, we may mostly caught up with this self-image or the mental image. Even when it comes to husband, wife, children, friends and families, even the nations, even the religions, even the samadhi or the nibbana, or this anything, even the Buddha, what this all? Mostly we have mental images. We deal with that mental image. It is very hard to person to marry a girl or boy without mental image. They mostly marry the mental image. That's why later they divorce. When they become closer, closer, closer and come and recognize it is not the mental image that they had. And then they divorce. And then for the children, the same. So you have mental image. That's why mostly the parents out of the children, they have the fear and unsatisfaction. Why? Because whatever the mental image that you carry regarding children, you're never going to find that within them. Even our parents didn't find within us, and you're not going to find within your children also. Nothing wrong with anybody. But the thing is what? Because we used to be more comfortable with the self-image. So there is something happening in this very moment, and I experience that through the perception, I experience it. And in between this, I have a self-image. That is what called soul. That is what called ego. That is what called the self-centered mind. Because the ego is the person who deposit all this memory and holding in between the mind and the perception. Your past experience. So that all past experience is your ego. So as example, you completely release all the past experience and no any memory. You just become now, and then you don't have ego. You just experience. That's it. You just experience. You just hear something. You just see something. So that is the moment you gain through the vipassana. That is why some school it say it is not a technique. You cannot do it as a technique. You cannot teach through kind of like, you cannot teach this. It's by practicing you have to get. So, because this clear perception, when something happens, in that very moment, if you're able to experience, that is the real moment of living. But in case suddenly, if any self-image or the words come to the middle and you start to negotiate with the perception and the experience, then the ego or the soul or whatever you can name, Atma or whatever, it going to empower, going to play its role. So then you have to look. Even when you eat something, when you drink something, when you even just sitting, when you observe, when you have the feelings. So when you're living in this very moment, what you experience? Are you clearly experience the moment, or is there something in your head as image or as words dealing with? So you have to slowly get out of it. How you can do? By practicing you can do it. By the very first thing that you have to know, by hearing this, oh, this is like this. By hearing, now you know it. And then the next thing what you have to do, try yourself. Try yourself. So how you can do it? Just get into it. It's like this. Look at now you at home. You don't think about it. You have no effort to be at home. How about you are somewhere else and then you have to drive and you have to go through many traffic lights, and maybe you have to take a bus or the train or many things, and always you have the self-image towards the house to reach, and the time, space, this everything, struggling. But now you are at home. So when it comes to experience, be like at home with the experience, whatever happened to you, without anything, just accept it. You can try it because this is the thing. The mainly when you do these things, your fear and your grudge, the desire to hold, and the habitual pattern, this everything come against. This is what called Mara. As you know that that when you practice these things, the Mara come against. So this is what it is, because your own behavior not allowed. Just imagine, without any past experience, without anything, can you accept a moment, whatever it is, just accept. That is the moment you're going to transform. But through the school, through the culture, tradition, through the religions, they taught us to think. And thinking is conventional. By thinking, you cannot attain to Nibbana. It is completely different. So then how you have to do? So in conventional life, you develop the tranquility state. And then from there, Just without thoughts, learn to accept. Even try for a moment. Don't allow any past experience to interfere. Even the sound, accept it. Even the smell, accept it. Just 100%, completely be surrendered to that. If you do it for a moment, you attain to Nibbana. But the thing is, from the samsara, we develop thoughts patterns with the desires, and even now you decide, okay, it is very simple, I will do it. Because of the previous, that the habitual current is strong, what will happen even in this very moment, sometimes, even you try to stop, that current will start to go through it. So like that. So it like this, when you hear this, forgetting the bell, can you hear the sound? Because when it comes the bell, that's mean the image came already to you. So when somebody talk, without the image, can you get the sound? So the image means when somebody talk, some in the next room or somewhere or over the phone, so you hear. While you hearing, you don't see. In the between that hearing and the receiving, in the middle, you have a mental image. From where that image came? So as example, next room. Now imagine you are in this place. So you in next room, somebody talking. You maybe your husband, wife, children, or somebody, brother, sister talking. Now you hear the sound. And while you hearing, that sound doesn't come alone. While you hearing, you get the mental image. So that mental image, from where you get? Not because in this very moment, that person is not here. That image you get from the last time you saw your brother or the sister. The last time, maybe before the meditation, or maybe 1 hour, 2 hour before you practice this. So whatever the last moment you see, you saw that person going to come to you in this very moment when you hear this. So that is what you have to drop. So if you are able to get into that, and that is where you experience what is the life. But mostly what is happening, we thinking we living, and we go with the mental image and repeating our actions and bringing the past experience to the present moment and go through this, go through this, go through. We become so busy. And we have no even strength to hold ourselves. It as a habit take us like a river. So when it comes to Vipassana, that's why. So whenever you have opportunity, just 1 minute, anything, just accept. Even you die, it's worth for you. Accept it. You will see if you can do that. That very moment becomes so powerful. And that moment becomes so precious. And that moment has power to light the entire universe. When you why? Because you are a part of this universe. When you get out of all the mental image and the words and everything, you get connected to that. You separate from it because of the memory that you hold. That's why you don't see. And it can mesmerize you if you keep thinking something, that it shut down everything. That's why you sometimes when you caught up in your mind with your own thoughts, you don't see your husband, you don't see your wife, you don't see your children, you don't see your brother, sister, you don't see the other people. You just caught up with something. That doesn't mean you don't see anything. You see something, but it's not relevant to this moment. That's why sometimes people say she's in another world. What is that world? It's in mind. So then give little time every day. 1 minute enough. Try yourself. Just completely be surrendered. And whatever the fear come, whatever the difficulty come, and whatever the laziness come, give up that everything. Just completely be surrendered in that minute. Whatever come, accept it. Be completely accept without looking for anything. Be completely 100% be a receiver. Accept it. No resistance. Just practice 1 minute. Don't go for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Don't go for that. Practice 1 minute. And then you will see. And little by little, you will see within that 1 minute how many mental image come to you. But if you keep doing, there is a moment come. You're going to experience 1 second without any mental image or without any words. That is the moment you really get connected. It's called the clear perception, sati sampajanya. And with the perception, you clearly, your awareness, your consciousness get connected. That is what the real experience that you're going to see, have. In that real experience, you transform to different level. So that is the moment of your liberation. So it is possible. Only the human can do this. So you have all the capability to do that. And only thing you have to remember, you have to look. What's the point? Repeating memory. What's the point? Doing the same thing every day. What is the point that doing same thing like other people? That is what the living. That is what the we addicted. What the point? If you have done in the samsara, why you keep doing it again? So you already have heard certain things in the past. Why you want to hurt it again? So you repeat many things in the past. Why you want to keep doing the same thing again and again? So the very first thing you have to have need yourself to get out of that path. So once you have that need, and look for the very fresh, very clear, one single moment. And with that intention, just whatever the sound, or even the tree, even the cloud, just better you if you try with the nature a little bit. You know why? Because it doesn't bring some influence to ignite the desires. Because sometimes if you try to go to people and look them, sometimes suddenly it ignite your past memory, and then maybe the good or bad desires can deal with that. So try to see a tree without mental image. Just try to see what you see through your eye without the mental image that you have. When you see the cloud, or when you see the bird fly, when you hear the sound, just try to hear the sound without the mental image that come and sit in the middle. and that way you will experience it. If you able to experience it for 1 second, in that second that you will see how it will transform you. So with that, I bless upon everyone with this good practice. May all of you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you. May no difficulties come to you. May no problems come to you. May you also have the patience, courage, understanding, and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life. During this time period, may everyone stay healthy and safe. And finally, may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sabbitiyo vajjantu sabbarogo vinassatu mate bhavatvantarayo sukhi digayuko bhava. Ettavata cammi sampadaṃ puñña sampadaṃ sabbe devanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe bhutanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe sattanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya idam me puñña kammam asavakkaya vaṅñotu sabba dukkha pamuncatu. Bless you.